I'm going to shove the bomb I made.
You got... No, you're not. It's just a black screen. We're in the void,
I
yeah?
haven't done it yet.
Do it. Press it. Press
Press
it.
it.
Hey.
Okay, so the collision shape is just a cube because that's all we need. And as you can see, I worked very hard in a modeling program. I didn't work in the modeling program. I made a sphere with a toon shader on it.
And a
I
cylinder.
made a cylinder with a toon shader on it. I made another cylinder with a toon shader on it. I put particles and omnilight, and then
You
Q
moved.
free. Yeah. So the
Bang.
reason I've got it structured like this is all I have to do is animate the position of the fuse, the translation of the fuse. And then on the very last frame, I'm going to switch off emitting, switch off light energy, and call explode. Explode calls the group players bomb exploded player. So the player knows, oh, I can drop another bomb again. Because by default, the character can only place one bomb at a time. But when power-ups start going up, that should be expanded, right? So we need the player to be in charge of that, not the bomb. And then emit the signal exploded, which is going to go to the level. And it's going to tell the map, I'd like you to spawn explosions at this position over this distance. And then it removes the bomb. And then the map, which is a grid map, now has to handle that. How does it handle that? Well, first, it takes a position and it uses world to map to turn it into position. Why? Because we want to snap it onto the grid, right? I don't want a bomb halfway between grid positions. Secondly, I need to find out how far you can go. So one is just where the bomb is. That's pointless. Then I'm going to take the distance we're going and I'm going to put them in a dictionary, northeast, southwest, very much like we did when we were using procedural generation in God Gets Away, right? We're going to pick our directions and just put them in as vectors. But because I'm doing this as a distance, and the distance is a for loop, when it's 1, that's easy. When it's 2, when it's 3, great. So then for spawn point, each of these in spawn points, if it's not being used by the grid map, so don't place it where there's a wall, then I want you to put an instance in. I want you to translate it to where I am plus the direction, and then add it. Then add one where the bomb is, and we're done. So there's actually quite a lot going on there, just so when you place a bomb in 2D or 3D mode, the bomb is in the center there, and the explosions are all on the grid.
It's very interesting, isn't it? How something as, from an external point of view, something as mundane as where to spawn in some sprites or where to emit particles can actually be quite complex and in-depth to go through the logic and work out where that needs to be.
I mean, part of that is when we place the bomb, I have to do this, right? I have to turn the position into grid coordinates using world to map. So it's not global coordinates anymore. It's where are you on the grid? Like what's the cell you're in? And then I have to turn it back into global coordinates. So I'm going to snap you to the nearest center of the grid you're in, or the center of the nearest grid you're in. And then I'm going to turn you back into global coordinates. And then I can do the rest of it. What's fun is I tried putting this in a different function. The function didn't finish calling before the thing was instance. And it was like, no, your translation is null. I was like, fine, not playing with multi-threading. You could just all be one function. It's fine. So yeah, stopping sharing my screen now, Michael.
So that looks absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of it. Hopefully something, anything from a mini course all the way up to a full-blown Steam release game coming
I can
soon.
just point out, I made the grid map and the characters yesterday. All of the bomb logic and everything else was today.
Oh, so Steam
So
release by the end of the week. Fine.
Don't. Adam will clip it.
Very true.
But yeah, it's nice to get to the point where I'm thinking I want the bombs to snap to a grid. Oh, I know how to do that. Click, 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 click. Because I've solved this problem with Toucanaban. I've solved this problem with something else. Like, here we go.